everyone, and welcome back to Brand's Den with another roster update. Today, I thought I'd start off with Amazons because this one's going to be quite quick and easy, I think. One of the less contentious ones. Or is it? Or is the fact that it's less contentious making it more contentious? You'll see what I mean as we carry on. So, let's see what's changed. So, Amazon Line Women, the Eagle Warrior, hasn't changed. Movement 6, Strength 3, Edge 3 plus, Passing 4 plus, Armor 8 plus, cost 50k. General on primary and agility and secondary as their agility and strength, sorry, as their secondaries. Exactly the same as they were. But that does also not say everything about how things are going to change for Amazons because there's obviously a number of rule changes and skill access that is going to still affect them. So for one, there's no devious here. And in fact, there's no devious in the whole team. So they have no access now to Dirty Player or Sneaky Git. So that's taken a bit of the fouling game away from them. I mean, when I was talking earlier about this, we keep saying that's taken the fouling game away from them. Forgetting, of course, you can still foul. You can foul with anyone. Just you won't be doing it with Dirty Player and Sneaky Git, which as a combo are pretty good when you're trying to foul. And it will, I think, see less fouling with Amazons. I didn't notice an absolute load of fouling with the Amazon games I've played against. Obviously, they're a newer team, but I certainly don't think their game plan was built around it. I just think people took it as an opportunity. It was the Blood Bowl 2020 thing, wasn't it? You'd give a line woman or a lower cost player Sneaky Git and Dirty Player if you could, whether that be your ghoul, your gutter runner, or your lineman on whatever team. That's what you'd be wanting one player like that because it just gives you another way to remove pieces. But Amazon aren't dependent on removing pieces. They've got their own strengths, so it's not a huge thing. I just thought it was worth mentioning that that's not an option anymore. And the other thing is I wanted to mention was, what's it called again? Secure the ball. So secure the ball is going to be useful, I suppose, for Amazons because the line woman could secure the ball. In fact, you'll see that none of the Amazon players have unsteady, so any of them can just pick up the ball under 2+. So it could be that you want your line woman just to collect it to bring it into a cage or a screen to then hand off to another better player. It could be that you want to go straight onto your big girl blocker. So even those things don't appear in the stat lines, it is worth remembering that those rule tweaks are going to affect them. And the last thing I was going to mention is obviously the elite skills. Now, obviously, what a lot of players will want to do is put block on Amazon players, but now that's an elite skill, so that's an extra cost for doing that. Only 10k, but it is going to affect them, and especially as you're going to want your blockers to get your strength 4 blockers to get guard, which I think will be another elite skill. Mighty blow, which is another elite skill. So a lot of the skills they're going to want to take early on are going to be those elite skills, but that's probably where you're going to see more wrestle, I think, because that isn't an elite skill from what I've heard. All right, so that's the Amazon line woman. Amazon thrower, again, nothing's changed as far as I'm aware. Movement 6, 333 on those stats. Armor 8 plus, cost 80k. General and primary access. Keep getting those words mixed up. General and passing on primary, sorry, and agility and strength on secondary. So yeah, pretty standard stuff for the Amazon thrower. The blitzer. Oh, look, we can see some green, so something has changed. So the Piranha Warrior blitzer is still movement 7, strength 3 plus, edge 3 plus, armor 8 plus, cost 90k with general and agility on primary, and strength on secondary, which is exactly as it was, except this. They can now pass on a 4+. It's not a huge buff. I still don't think anyone's going to be passing on the blitzers as such, but in a moment of dire need, or if you've got a turn left to try and score and the blitzer's in range of picking it up and they need to throw it, it's a bit better, isn't it? But it's not gonna change the world, is it? Moving on. Then we've got the Amazon blockers, and it's the same situation again. Movement 6, strength 4, add 3+, passing 4+ now, armor 9+. The cost is there, general and strength on primary, agility on secondary, dodge and defensive. So yeah, exactly the same, and the same as what I said for the blitzer. You're not really going to want to be doing a passing game with these blockers, but should you need it to score a touchdown or to get rid of the ball, at least now they're a little bit better at it, but it's not going to make a huge difference. And that's it. So they're pretty much as they were. Rerolls still 60k. Yes, they can have an Apothecary and their Lustrian Super League. I think their star player access might be a little bit more hindered now because certain stars are not Lustrian as well as Old World Classic. However, when the other star players pop up, they'll still be able to get Dribble and Drool, Estelle, Boa Constrictor, Anky Panky, and Glottal Stop. So there's still lots of options out there. Now, some of those you might think, ugh, you'd never take those, but we don't know if some of those are going to change. I think Anky Panky out of those lot are the only one that's been shown so far. I think the other ones might not even be in the rule book, so they'll come at a later date. I have no doubt. So, pros and cons of the Amazons. So, I suppose the biggest pro is no real changes. It's still one of the best teams in the game. I'm always really loath to say that there is a best team. Even though I have a top 10, that's just more for fun. I like the fact that there might be a group of teams at least that are in that top echelon. But if you to ask the average player, I think, in the Blood Bowl community, what's the best team right now in Blood Bowl, I think a lot of them would say Amazon. And it looks like that's not going to change because there's been no real changes. The blitzers and blockers have received a slight buff, and they can secure the ball now as well. So I've obviously not given them an up because I've said that they've stayed. And that's because, in a way, I think the lack of DV skills and the elite skill tax is going to hurt them more than having a few passing increases and secure the ball. I think that, in a way, you'd be tempted to say, actually, that maybe they're slightly worse for that. But because other teams have received much more changes, I think overall they're just going to stay in that top group. So that's why I've said that they haven't got better. I don't think they are better than they were. If anything, they're slightly worse in some areas, one area particularly, and they might develop slightly differently. But on the whole, they're still going to be one of the best teams in Blood Bowl. So I think if you're an Amazon coach, you should be relatively pleased that not much has changed. And it's not a big surprise that it hasn't because they are, after all, one of the newest teams in Blood Bowl. I think after Amazons, it was only Vampires, Gnomes, and Chaos Dwarves. So although they've been around a while now, they are post-2020 launch, and those teams have seen less changes, it has to be said. Okay, so that's it for Amazons. I think it's good if you're an Amazon coach. If you hated Amazons, I don't hate them, but I do have a poor record against them. Big enough to admit that. I haven't played that many games, to be honest, but the ones I have played, I've won a few, but I've also lost a few, and I think I've been unlucky in some of them in terms of I don't seem to be able to break armor of an Amazon, even though it's kind of their weakness. But I can recognise that in good hands, particularly, Amazon teams can be devastating. So it's a good thing for their coaches that they haven't dropped away. For everyone else, I think there was probably a few calls to see if they could be nerfed in some way. But calls to remove dodge from the line women, I think, was way off the mark. I think the whole identity of the team is their dodge, and it's just like with Norse with their block and Gnomes with their jump up. I don't think you need to mess with that. They should have dodge, but you perhaps could have made a few more changes that would have hurt them. But I do think Amazon's the type of team that it's a bit on a knife edge. If you took away one of their toys, it could see them plummet quite fast. I mean, just look at some of the other teams who've gone through changes. You only have to take away a couple of positionals and people start losing their minds about it. So, on the whole, I think it's not too bad. They're still going to be one of the best teams in the game, but they're not. I don't think they're infallible. I think they can. They'll run into problems. There's going to be games where they take a few early hits and they lose players quickly. There is also, this is worth saying, I didn't put this as a con, there is more widespread starting tackle now. Yes, the Dwarves have lost some tackle, but they do have some tackle starting players. Humans do now. Undead do now. There's another team, isn't there, that's got tackle, I'm sure. I can't think off the top of my head. But there's a little bit more tackle out there. I suppose Old World Alliance is it Underworld? No, not Underworld. Old World Alliance and another team that would have. No, because Renegades don't have blitzers, do they? So no. So there's a few teams out there, more that start with tackle. I don't know if tackling is an elite skill. I don't think it is. So you might see that being used more. So that will hurt the Amazons a little bit. But yeah, on the whole, it's pretty good for the Amazons. although they've got a sideways, because I don't think they've gone better or worse. It's sideways because they were already the best team, pretty much, or one of the best teams, and they still are. So fantastic. Right. Later on today, I do intend to tackle the two big contentious ones, being orcs and humans. So I look forward to that one. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye for now.